All right. What is up, everyone? And welcome to another episode of the Random Encounter Podcast, episode 60. Today is actually a solo podcast. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but yeah, couldn't make it. He's actually doing stuff. He had actually some visitors come in. Geek couldn't make it as well, and Ash might be joining me later on. But as always, I'm your host James, and it's just me. But there's still a lot of stuff to talk about today, and it's kind of weird just doing a solo one. But hey, we're gonna go ahead and do a solo one anyways, because a lot of stuff did come out this week. We had Jim Ryan stepping down, or rather stepping down. He's retiring. We also had Epic Games doing some layoffs, and Castlevania Nocturne also came out this week, and just gonna discuss some of that stuff. But as always, don't forget, like and subscribe. We are trying to hit 500 subscribers. I was about to say 600, but yeah, 600 would be nice too. But we're trying to hit that 500 subscriber goal. We're so close to hitting that. We're at 459. We were at 460 earlier, but unfortunately we lost a subscriber. But we're at 459, so just need 41 more subscribers to go before we hit that 500 subscriber count. And as always, also follow us over at Twitch. I do pretty much simultaneously stream on both YouTube and Twitch, but that my priority is usually YouTube, to build that user base. And of course, I have solo videos that I do all the time and kind of upload them there. Supposed to have a video up tomorrow, but I won't. I don't have a video prepared, but still expect maybe 2 videos this week. I have my cracked Nitro deck coming in, so super excited about that. I've been waiting forever. I pre-ordered it. It launched almost 2 weeks ago now, and I still haven't received it. And some people have received it, but I think it's because I got the GameCube version. That's why I haven't received it. So, I mean, it is what it is. But it should be coming in soon, hopefully by Tuesday. I've been tracking that like literally every second. I'll be refreshing the tracking number to trying to see what's going to show up. And yeah, still nothing. But hopefully we get it by Tuesday. I'm really excited to try it out. Honestly, it looks like the perfect controller. Something that I wish the Switch was, because after using the Steam Deck for so much, I really don't. I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. I just don't like the Joy Cons. They don't feel right. Not having a D pad is usually the biggest thing that's bothering me, because without the D pad, you can't really play the 2D games. So if you try to play SNES games or any of the just old retro games or anything that's 2D that utilizes the D pad, it doesn't feel right using the buttons on the Joy-Con. So that's my only issue with the Joy-Cons. It is a kind of cool concept that you can go ahead and just, remove the Joy-Cons and go ahead and use it that way. But Nitro Deck seems to solve that problem, so I can't wait to get it in. I'll play a lot more games. I'm going to do a lot of testing, and then, of course, I will have a video. I don't like to say the word reviewing, but rather just giving my thoughts on the Nitro Deck, because I really don't review things. I just give my thoughts on it and kind of say what I feel about it. I'm not gonna give a number saying like 10 out of 10. Like I might every now and then say something like that, but the numbers don't mean anything, right? It just means that I really liked it or I don't, or it's mid, right? It's one of those three things out there. I would never just say, yeah, this is a 7.5 because there's too much water or anything like that. No, I'm just gonna say what I feel about it. So I like to say it's my thoughts on the devices there. But yeah, so let's start off the podcast with Jim Ryan leaving. Honestly, when I heard about this, I was kind of excited. Not that I don't like Jim Ryan, because I don't know the guy, right? I've never met the guy. I don't know anything about him. But when I first heard about that, I was like, man, like, I ever since he's been head of PlayStation, it's just been, in my opinion, it's not the same Sony that it used to be. I made a video on that on, this is not the same Sony. This is not the PS2 era, PS1 era PlayStation team, or not even the PS4 era PlayStation team. It's just a totally different Sony team, and I'm just not really feeling it. Or actually, my soundboard should say it. Oh, I didn't add. Oh yeah, I did add it here.
I'm not really feeling it.
There we go. I'm just not really feeling it. Like I don't like this PlayStation era. I haven't used my PS5 at all. And it's mainly because they're geared more towards the Western market. And like all my life, pretty much the games that I've always liked were always the Japanese style games. Every now and then I like Western games, BioWare comes to mind. I do like Mass Effect, of course. Knights of the Old Republic. What else did they do? Dragon Age Inquisition I liked. Also Dragon Age Origins. I did like Dragon Age Origins. But I like those type of games. wasn't a big fan of like Bethesda games. It's just something about Bethesda games. You've heard me say it plenty of times on the podcast. It's just something about their games that I just don't, that
I'm not really feeling it.
that's really what it is. Like, there's just something about them. I don't know. I, it's kind of hard to describe. It just doesn't catch my attention. There's a lot of things going on with it, and I just don't like it. I prefer the Final Fantasies, Xenoblade Chronicles, Octopath Traveler, stuff like that. I just like the style of games that they produce. And when Jim Ryan came in, he basically shut down Japan Studios, and that was kind of, in my opinion, the dumbest move ever. It kind of eliminated that diversity portfolio that PlayStation was known for. You would get the Japanese games, but you also had the Western games, right? You had Japan Studios and Japanese style games. They teamed up with Level 5 for stuff like White Knight Chronicles and things like that. And then you'd had the, Sly Coopers, the infamous Uncharted, and so forth style games. But killing that studio kind of killed, I would say, like half of their portfolio. And I wasn't a fan of that. And of course, he had the statement of saying they're going to focus on the Western side of things because the Western side makes more money, which, makes sense, right? The West, whether it's Europe or America, they make a lot of money, right? That's where most of the money, where PlayStation is making their money from. But at the same time, I think if you forget where PlayStation was or where they are and what kind of draws people to PlayStation, it's also the diverse portfolio. When you think of Xbox, most people are always thinking shooters or Forza, right? It's always shooters or Forza, and that's something that Xbox has built their portfolio on. Ever since the original Xbox, it was Halo, 360, you had Gears of War, and it was just shooting platforms. Call of Duty, even though it's not an exclusive, Call of Duty in the beginning was associated with Xbox. So, like shooters, all that type of style games were associated with Xbox. And the 360 era, they kind of tried to change it in the beginning. They had a lot of Japanese games. You had like Eternal Sonata, Lost Odyssey, what other game? Infinite Undiscovery, which is a great game. Blue Dragon, another great game. There was a lot of diversity there. Star Ocean was originally a 360 exclusive. Tales of Vesperia was originally a 360 exclusive. So they actually tried to diverse their portfolio. Unfortunately, it failed because the audience they captured on the 360 era were kind of hardcore to the Western style games. On the other hand, PlayStation gamers, everybody was like, hey, I want Eternal Sonata, I want Star Ocean, I want Tales of Vesperia. Everybody wanted those games. So it was like, when are you getting those? When are we getting those? When are we getting those? And eventually they came over to PS3, a more enhanced version, a better version of those games, which basically added, extra content. Tales of Vesperia had a totally different, like, not totally different, but they added an extra story mode where you're going to play as Finn. The only games that didn't come over were like Infinite Undiscovery, which I think because Xbox funded that with Tri-Ace, Blue Dragon, which was a Miss Walker game, and Lost Odyssey, another Miss Walker game. None of those games came over to PlayStation. But, going back to my original point, everybody wanted those diverse games. And PlayStation just kind of under Jim Ryan's ruling, just kind of like said, hey, we're not going to do any Japanese games. We're shutting Japan Studios. The only team that was actually there was, I don't remember the team, but the team that does the Astrobot games, that's the only team that stood, which the Astrobot games are actually very fun. They were really cool. The VR games were fun. And then, of course, the free game you get the PS5 was also fun, which is what, Astro's Playroom, I think it is. Those were really fun games. And I just, since him taking over, PlayStation just kind of does some weird things. I get it as a business person. He went in and was like, hey, you know, we the first thing he said was like, we believe in, what was it, generations or something like that. And he was talking about all these games were only going to be PS5 exclusives, which I was happy for because I'm like, cool. That means these games are going to take advantage of what the PS5 has to offer. And then he backtracks and then was like, oh yeah, all these games are also coming to PS4. And I was like, what? Like that, like to me, that was just a weird move. I get it, you want to maximize your profits, but at the same time, you want people to jump on that new hardware. And if you put it on older hardware, a you're limiting the potential that this new system can do and these games can do because you're focusing also on the older hardware. And then of course, B, people are not having an incentive to jump to the PS5. And that was like my biggest issue. Most of the games that I played on PS5 were also available on PS4 outside of like Returnal and I guess Returnal. That was really it actually when I think about it. So outside of like Returnal, everything was available on PS4, which kind of like, sucked. It just stood there, and I kept looking at it. And I was like, man, like, yeah, you get the super fast loading. The games are a little bit enhanced, but was it really worth $400? Because I got the digital version, unfortunately. And thinking about it, I'm like, I mean, I'm happy that I have the PS5, but it just collects dust. Like, it just collects dust. And for me, it's just because that diverse portfolio is just not there. You have, Uncharted. I guess the PS5 upgrades are there, but you have like God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West. There's Ratchet and Clank, and of course you have Spider-Man coming out. But those are all like geared towards mainly like Western gamers, and that's just like not my style. We don't have any type of like Bloodborne or Gravity Rush or what's some other Japan studio games. Shadow of Colossus, or White Knight Chronicles, like I mentioned. We don't have any of those type of games there. Yeah, there's Final Fantasy 16, but that's Square Enix, and of course that'll be coming to PC and so forth. But for the most part, they kind of just like forgot about the Japanese games, and I'm like, there's just a lot of weird things he's doing. PlayStation Portal coming out, which I will be getting, I will be reviewing. He announces the PlayStation Portal, like, oh, we have this cool technology coming out, and then there's a lot of things wrong with PlayStation Portal. It's strictly for remote play, and I'm like, okay, if you can give me a better remote play experience, then yeah, but $200 and you're just gonna do that. Like, don't include PlayStation Plus cloud streaming or anything like that. It's just for remote play. The weirdest thing ever, especially when handhelds are becoming very, very popular. Thanks to the Nintendo Switch, it's boom. We have the Steam Deck, ROG Ally, Legion Go's coming soon. And of course, there's a bunch of the other like Chinese manufacturers like Aya Neo, Iron Loki, all those type devices out there as well that run Windows and allow you to play all these games portable. And then PlayStation comes along, and you're like, oh man, like, is this going to be it? Is this a portable PS4 or something like that? Nope, it's just a remote play device. I'm like, come on, why? Why? It was the weirdest thing ever. Like, all my, for not, I was gonna say all my life, not all my life, but like this past year, playing with the Steam Deck and everything, I always thought like it would be so cool if we had a portable PS4, so that if I want to play these games, I can go ahead and play on a portable device. I already bought them on PlayStation. I have them on PlayStation Network, or I have PlayStation Plus Premium. So any of those games I can play directly on this device. But you can't do that. It's just strictly for remote play. And kind of a little bit backtracking, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of these games are PS4 and PS5. So there is no reason why God of War Ragnarok, for example, that has a PS4 version. There's no reason why we can't play that on the on the portable PlayStation device, right? So he does that. He does the new Sony earbuds that, or I'm sorry, let me backtrack a little bit. With the PlayStation Portal, another thing is to sell more of their earbuds. You have that proprietary connection called PlayStation Link. You can't use Bluetooth. I'm like, dude, like, Nintendo tried to do that. They locked Bluetooth, and then later on, of course, they updated and allowed Bluetooth headphones to work. And yeah, while I use IEMs, that's what I use a lot nowadays. Still, it was very convenient to be able to use my AirPods with my Nintendo Switch, and like not being able to use that was kind of annoying at the time. But now it's like you think you would learn from that mistake, but you didn't, and you went along and did this. Like, it's just weird decisions. I get it. You try to maximize profits. Jim Ryan is a businessman. So all the decisions he's making is going to be geared towards business. But it just wasn't, I don't think it's where PlayStation needed a head. So we'll have to wait and see where PlayStation goes from here. My biggest hope is more diverse portfolio. I get it. The Western market is big, but I just want a diverse portfolio. That's just what I want personally. It'd be nice to see a Gravity Rush 3 or some type of other game that kind of spreads out. I think Microsoft's actually doing a pretty decent job of trying to get a kind of a diverse portfolio. At least they added RPGs to the mix, right? With Bethesda and Obsidian, they added these Western RPGs to the mix. So it's not just the Gears of War machine, right? Because Halo's kind of dead now, but like it's not no longer the shooter machine or the Forza machine. Now we have these RPGs that should be coming with Hellblade. Now you have these interactive, I don't know what you would call it, like an action adventure game. So there is a little bit of diversity coming along with Microsoft, where PlayStation seems to be heading the opposite way. So we'll wait and see what happens with them. I'm just, happy that he's no longer or he's retiring. And I don't know if he was forced out or whatever the case might be. Maybe because he lost the battle and couldn't convince FTC to kind of, stop Microsoft from buying Activision Blizzard. Maybe they're like, hey, man, you kind of suck. You got to either retire or we let you go. I don't know if we don't know the whole full story. It just felt like out of nowhere. So, that could be the reason why. But nonetheless, I just hope whoever steps in for him as CEO, they take PlayStation in the direction that gamers kind of like love, right? Say, hey, the PlayStation Portal was a mistake. Here's the PSP 2 or something like that. Like that would be nice. But I guess we'll wait and see how that goes there. But speaking of PlayStation Portal, Best Buy, Amazon, and GameStop do have them available for pre-order. So originally it was pre-order only through the PlayStation website. Now they're available on those websites as well. From what I was seeing, it looks like they're still available for pre-order, so you can go ahead and just go to Best Buy and type in PlayStation Portal and pre-order it. And as of right now, it's saying you'll get it on launch day, which is November 15th. So if you are interested in that, definitely go ahead and pick those up. Again, I said I am going to be doing a review there. I'm definitely going to pick up one, do a review, see how it works. Mainly because like the way I play games now is really portable. I use my Switch and my Steam Deck a lot because I just don't get I don't have the time to sit in front of a TV and play. Typically, I work, do all this other stuff, and my playtime is really right before I go to sleep. When I'm laying down in bed and so forth. So I will be picking one up, seeing how it goes, see if I like it. If I don't like it, I guess I can return it, right? And there's nothing stopping me from returning it. But yeah, that is that. And while we're on the topic of PlayStation, Star Wars KOTOR remake was also delisted by Sony. So if you guys remember, at Aspire, who was actually remaking KOTOR, they've been having issues. Apparently, they showed off like a rough draft, and I believe KOTOR was originally slated for next year, so it was supposed to come out next year, uh, which we know that's not happening. But I guess they showed up a rough draft, and they're like, "Wow, like this is bad. This is not going anywhere." So they showed off that rough draft. They kind of went in, and I believe Saber Interactive was taking over, and now it's like it's that trailer is completely delisted, and there could be a lot of reasons behind that, right? It could be that PlayStation's just trying to cover themselves to make sure that they don't lose anything on that. B, it could be that maybe PlayStation is just not going to fund it no more. Maybe it's going to be, a third party game where it will be both PlayStation and Xbox. Maybe they decided, hey, we're going to pull out of this because we don't know where this project's going. So that's another reason they could have done that. But nonetheless, they delisted it. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, honestly, my biggest pet peeve with a lot of this stuff is announcing games before they come out. There's no reason why for you to announce a game that's not even in within the year, right? That's one thing I like about Nintendo. They show off their Nintendo Directs. You go through with their Nintendo Directs, and for the most part, they show games that are coming out within the next 3 to 6 months, sometimes at least a year out. But with all the things they do show, there's always gameplay. Minus Metroid Prime 4, and then when Bayonetta was originally announced, there was no gameplay of that. But for the most part, we see it in action, which I do really like. I really enjoy that stuff. We're seeing these games in action, and PlayStation and Xbox just have a bad habit of showing off games that are nowhere near completion. They're just in the concept phase. It's like, hey, let's just make some, you know, not even in-game trailer. Let's just make a trailer showcasing a concept of what we would like it to be. And that's why I'm never hyped for state of plays or Xbox stuff. It's not that I don't like PlayStation or Xbox. It's I just don't like their style of doing these things. Like if you're gonna announce something, you should have it soon, right? Let the rumor mill hype up the games that are not announced yet, right? Right now, Monolith Soft is a big talk because they are working on a new IP. There's a lot of rumors around that, and that's what's hyping it up. We know that when we hear about this new game, it's typically going to come out within a year. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was a good example because I believe that game was actually originally slated for like September or October. And then out of nowhere, it's like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and push it out for July. And I think that game was announced in June or something like that. So it's a great example of a game that was coming out or was announced. And it actually came out, in a couple months later. So that's pretty cool. I just don't get why PlayStation and Xbox do that. They announce games before they're ready. So now we have that issue with KOTOR, which I was very hyped for because I love Knights of the Old Republic, one of my favorite RPGs. Love the game. I had so many hours in it. Probably one of the few games that I've had, maybe close to 100 hours or so in that game. Loved every bit of it. Enjoyed it. I'll say I was a huge Star Wars fan. I'm not a big fan of where Star Wars is going now, but for the most part, I love that game. So I will enjoy playing that there. But that's KOTOR. Unfortunately, delisted. So yeah, you won't. We're not gonna be playing that anytime soon, if at all. Now, moving on to this. Epic Games is laying off people, and man, like to me, I just don't. It's weird because Epic is very, very like they make a lot of money, and for them to lay off people, I just think it's the weirdest thing ever. It gets me mad. Like I don't like talking business talk, right? Because I do work in the industry of business, not the gaming industry, but in the industry of business. So I try not to talk too much about business, but the thing that gets me annoyed the most is that you go ahead, you're making millions and millions of dollars, and then you got to lay off people because maybe your profit margins, you want higher profit margins. Maybe investors want more money. They're like, hey, man, we're making $10. We need to make $11. So you need to lay off all of this, right? And I'm just throwing out random numbers, right? It's a lot more than that. But stuff like that like gets me very angry. And to see that Epic is doing something like that, it's like, come on, man. You make millions and millions of dollars on Fortnite and stuff like that. I know they're closing down or downsizing rather the Fall Guys team, which I don't know. Maybe a lot of people are not paying money for Fall Guys. I never hear anybody going crazy over the Fall Guys stuff. So I think that's what's going on with them. But I mean, it's one of those things that I feel like Epic doesn't need to go ahead and do that. Hey Ash, welcome, man.
Yo,
Welcome.
what's up, man?
I've been holding down the podcast myself. So
It's good. It's good. Good
yeah,
stuff.
let me go ahead and switch scenes and let me actually turn on my camera for here. There we go. Cool, cool. So yeah, I'm on the topic of Epic Games laying off their people. What do you think about that?
I think it's all hogwash on the reason why they had to lay them off because like Epic Games literally has one of the biggest revenues in the gaming industry, which one of them being their engine, secondly,
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite. So the fact they're able to afford all those collaborations for that one singular game, and on top of that, have tons of people use Unreal Engine 4. I kind of call that hogwash for their justification on why they had to lay off. Like how many people was it? Like 10%. Yeah, so it's BS. It doesn't make no sense.
So yeah, and that's kind of like what what I was doing. Hey, geek, what's up, man? Welcome to the podcast. We miss you, man. But yeah, I agree with that. It's like I was saying earlier, right before you came in, like they make a lot of money, and for them to go ahead and do that, we all know it's because of investors. Investors want more money. Maybe Tim Sweeney wants more money. They just want
Simple,
more money.
simple greed. It's
Yep.
simple greed at the end of the day. So I hope there's like a similar strike that happens within the game industry, just like with the writer strike, to where like
Yep.
everybody just goes on strike,
Yeah.
wants to have a fair pay, especially the developers. Developers are paying like pennies compared to like an
Yep.
actual developer working for like another fan company or for 400 500 company or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most of those people are underpaid, and the only people that are not being underpaid are practically the people in the executive team, right? So it's just there needs to be like some sort of revolution that happens when it comes to fair pay within the game industry
Yeah.
itself, right? So
100% agree. Like Nintendo, they're actually I think one of the higher pays because I believe a couple of years ago, maybe during COVID, rather than lay off people, I think they gave their whole staff pay raises, which is
yeah,
a
and I believe that. I believe that 110%.
this is gonna get crazy now. The McDonald's workers getting 20 an hour. I mean, hey man, like I won't get into that topic because that's gonna be a lot crazier. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like yeah, like game developers don't make as much as uh as they should for sure. Because without them, you
There's no games.
exactly, and it's like, come
That's literally
on,
what it is. Yeah, like I said, if like Because the reason why I'm saying all this is because recently the WGA community, I think that's what
Yeah,
they're called.
the
It's a
writers. Yeah,
it's a whole writer strike type of deal, and they were able to strike a really nice deal to able to compensate for all the writers throughout the entire industry. So for 131 days, they were able to get stuff done. They risk everything when it comes to livelihood just so they can get a better lifestyle. Which I feel like developers can literally do the same thing,
yeah,
right? Then not just developers, freaking artists, voice actors. Voice actors have been doing this for a while,
hmm
right? Just to start with Steve Bloom. Steve Bloom's been pushing the whole for fair actors pay. There's a reason why there's a good amount of union actors where you used to see them back in the day, but not anymore.
yeah,
Good two primary examples is probably Troy Baker and Laura Bailey. That's it.
yeah.
So like, but yeah, I feel like people should know their worth, and they need to exercise that. They need to exercise that right to speak out to certain injustices when it comes to fair pay. So
Yeah. No, I agree with you with that. Like, I think, there's a lot of stuff that can be better off in the gaming industry, but like Epic, I feel like Epic is one of those that's just being greedy, and we've seen it plenty of times, right? There's a whole Epic versus Apple deal that's going on, right? And like, a lot of people say, well, it's because of the App Store stuff, things like that, but like I don't think that's the case. They want more because I remember hearing that like, oh, we had our own store, stuff like that. You won't have to pay full price, right? You're gonna save $3. We can charge it cheaper.
which
But when you look
I
at their stuff,
bro,
right? It's real quick. So it was ten
my
dollars to
bad,
buy
my bad.
V-Bucks. It was $10 to
Yeah,
buy V-Bucks. And I think instead of lowering it to 7 because of the 30%, pay, they lowered it to 8. So they're gaining an extra dollar on top of that. So it's like, yeah, we
no.
know what you really want.
Here's the bull crap behind that. Like they're saying that like that this is like censorship and crap. That's not it. The reason why Apple did the way they did is because you violate their terms of service. You violated the rules. So you're not supposed to have any like something with it. Like I don't know what it was that they violated, but they've definitely violated something.
Well, having
So
a
which is why
payment,
they get
yeah, having an alternative form of payment within the
exactly.
app,
So
which is
it's their
against
fault.
their app store.
Is their fault for getting kicked out in the first place. So, and at that point, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, "Yep, it's Epic's fault.
Yep.
Not even Apple's fault whatsoever." And they made a whole big deal out of it too. They even made a whole video, like, "Bro, we're gonna go with that. Like,
Yeah,
you versus Apple. Good luck with that. Like, no,
to hype up the kids, man. To hype up the kids.
yeah, sheesh, man. I so stupid.
Yeah, so dumb having that. I don't know, but I guess the other half of that too is maybe people are not into live service games as they used to be. Like when I think about it, live service games are games that are supposed to be meant to last for forever, right? But I've noticed a lot of people, specifically like the kids that were growing up around that, and I say kids, right? Because anybody younger than me, I still consider a kid. uh, so if they're like 10 years younger than me or not, they're still considered kids. So like these kids now, they are now in their mid 20s to 30s. They're like, okay, we're tired of these live service games, and they're starting to branch off and play different games and noticing, hey, these single player games are actually pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff. So I'm wondering if like live service stuff is just people are just burnt out because everybody and their mother wants to be a live service game now, and it's like, why? There's so many out
I
there.
I do have to nitpick that one part about the
Mhm.
people mid-20s to the 30s.
Yeah.
Those same people been playing single player games for a while, bro. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think you're
I
I think
would
you're
say
talking
maybe early
about
20s. Okay, early
not even
20s.
early 20s, not even
Yeah.
early 20s. My roommate says in his early 20s. He's been single player games since he was sucking off. Nah, I ain't gonna see that term, but
I'll
like
say
straight up,
I'll say that's
I was
rare because a lot
I
of
was
the kids I talk to, they're around that age. They've never
like
played like Final Fantasy or something like that.
16 to 18, like in those ranges, I believe. But like maybe like 22 and up, they definitely played a single player game. Like 110%.
I don't think so. I've talked to some people around that, and they've never played. They've never played like Final Fantasy. Like all their games are always like Call of Duty or Fortnite
Oh,
or Apex.
that's the common game that every demographic plays, bro. What do you mean? Like when you mention COD, Everybody knows what Call of Duty is. Even my deceased grandmother knows what Call of Duty is.
Well, I'm talking
Everybody knows
about
what
games
that
as a
is.
service. Like that's the majority. Like they would play that with their friends, right? They don't branch off. Like I guarantee you, we should. When this would be a cool video, we just go to the mall or something. But like, hey, have you ever played Final Fantasy or something like that? See how many people were like, yeah, or how many people say no?
I mean,
Not including
that's
14, because an MMO. I won't include an MMO in that because I do feel like an MMO has a broader reach as well.
yeah, I agree. That'll be an interesting social experiment, if I would
Yeah.
say.
But yeah, that's the topic about Epic Games. Um, real quick to backtrack a little bit, I started off the podcast with Jim Ryan retiring from PlayStation. What are your thoughts on that?
So, when I saw that, at first I was jumping up and down, and be like, "Hooray, Jim Ryan's leaving."
Mhm.
Then I took a step back and look at the broader picture. And I saw all the achievements he made. I'm like, okay, fair. He has done these many things, and it's weird how he put up this whole front on like that he thinks that like old retro games doesn't have a place in the market. And then later on,
Mhm.
he says he actually loves retro games. I'm like, weird to like put that at the end of it, I guess, but like honestly, right? I feel like as long as they don't have another Jim Ryan clone to take over that position, then we'll be good, right?
Yeah.
With that being said, I want to have somebody that's willing to think more about the gamers and stuff, and actually put more retro titles into their catalog and stuff. I mean,
So
I know they've been doing that,
yeah.
but they need to do more of it.
So what
That's-
accomplishments are you talking about? Like what have
There,
people said?
there were some things that Jim Ryan has done. So when he stepped in, right? Let me see. Let me double
Because
check
I
on
saw
that.
a Twitter post that they were mentioning stuff, and I wouldn't say that he's lined up with those accomplishments in my opinion.
Let's see.
So to give you a good example, right? It's like the people who are talking about the current CEO for Nintendo, right, are saying,
Mhm.
oh, they're trying to line up his accomplishments with the Switch, but that's not true. Iwata this was his last console that he worked on, so this was all Iwata's doing, and he's just writing off the success of Iwata. Now, this next Nintendo console is going to be the real deal where he has to go against that. And Jim Ryan's the same way. Remember, at the end, like right before the PS5 was announced, uh,
Give me 1 minute. Hold that thought, and if you want to continue that point,
yeah,
you can. I just got a family calling me real quick, so
okay,
I'll be
yeah,
right back.
no
Shit.
worry. But yeah, if we go back to that, like Sean, I believe it was Sean Layden. I don't remember if it was Sean Layden or Andrew Hall. Yeah, I think it was Sean Layden who was the previous CEO to Jim Ryan. All those accomplishments of the PlayStation era are really on him, or PS5, I would rather say, because he was still in charge at that point. So it's just him and the team there, and Jim Ryan was just kind of riding off of that. Again, I feel like there was a lot of things that were changed due to Jim Ryan, which was like the multi-platform stuff and stuff like that. The walking back that Ash stated, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Like, he would say one thing and then backtracks to another thing. Saying retro games don't have a place in the today's market, but then say he likes retro games is like, which I actually I won't even give him that because that's a fair opinion, right? You're not really contradicting yourself because you can like something but also have understanding of why. Or let me rephrase that: you can dislike something but also have an understanding of like why it's not there, and I guess vice versa, right? You could like something and have an understanding of why maybe this won't fit there, right? There's a lot of decisions, especially in a business, that you might look at, but like, I really like this idea, but maybe it's not right. I even see that as a creative trying to make a video. I would love to make a video on some certain things, but I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't know if right now is the right time for that video. So I'll give Jim Ryan that, but still, I don't know. I'm just happy he's gone, and and I'm hoping for a better PlayStation. Better for me. I know some people are happy with their PS5s, and that's cool. That's you. I'm just not. I'm not happy with my PS5. My PS5 personally just sits here and does nothing. Unfortunately. But we'll see. I guess we'll see when the portal comes out. See how I feel. And we're gonna go on to the last topic of the day. Netflix is going crazy with anime adaptations of video games, which Hey, it's not a bad deal. As of right now, their track record is actually pretty good. Castlevania Nocturne just came out, and I've been watching it, and I'm enjoying it. Like, what got me like super hyped for it was the previous trailer that came out where they have Divine Bloodlines as the background song, and I was like, oh man! Like, the minute I heard that, I was like, okay, this is gonna be real. This was a good rendition of that song. Richter and just everything going around with Richter and Maria. I like what they're showing, and I'm only a couple episodes in, so I'm not all the way in, but I'm enjoying it so far. I like the way they're portraying Richter. Richter, I
All
think
right,
he's like 19 years old. In the Castlevania anime, we moved on to Netflix in
that's fine.
anime
Yeah,
adaptations. But yeah, I think Richter is like 19 years old in the Castlevania anime, so it's a nice starting point. We're gonna see him grow into the Belmont that people are gonna fear, which is nice, different from Trevor from the original Castlevania series. Have you seen the Castlevania animated series? The either Nocturne or the original one?
they're both on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
That's probably the reason why I never seen them
Uh
yet. Honestly, I mean, I could easily just go onto like another website and watch it for free, but at the same time, I want to try to support the people that actually made the show,
hmm
right? Which is why I haven't like gone around to do that for a while.
Yeah.
So
No,
there's
yeah,
a good amount of shows off of Netflix that I definitely missed out on. I know that. So
yeah. I mean, they have a lot of good stuff, right? So like just reading off like two of the video game adaptations they have. You have Cyberpunk, right? Was it Edge Runner? And
Edge
then you
Runners, I haven't
have
seen that one yet.
Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma has a Netflix anime. And then they announced Tomb Raider, Onimusha, and Devil May Cry. And of course, we
Oh,
just had
I see the
Castlevania
Devil
Nocturne.
Cry. I see the Devil May Cry one. It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty
Yeah.
nice. I do like it.
So it's like, the Tomb Raider one was the only one I'm like, I was like, with Tomb Raider, I
I'm
was.
not really feeling it.
Oh,
So,
they already showed like a trailer or something like that.
yeah, they did. It's a longer trailer than Devil May Cry. And I'm just like,
Okay.
it looks like it's the same story as the remake or the reboot of Tomb Raider. And
That's
so I
why
was like,
that's what I knew they were going to do because they
yeah.
already have been pushing that one for a while now.
Yeah.
So
So like I wasn't a fan of it. I'm like, I don't know if it needs an anime, but I will wait and see. Uh, so yeah, Castlevania, I highly recommend it. The Castlevania lore is actually really good. If you haven't played the games, I would play them. They're really fun, especially when you get into like Symphony of the Night and all the Metroid style Castlevanias. I like to say. A lot of people like to say the term Metroidvania, but I like to say Metroid style because Super Metroid was first. So, but what franchise would you like to see adapted to an anime, or what franchise do you think would be a good anime adaptation in any video game?
I'm assuming you already said yours first.
I haven't said mine yet. Nope. So.
Right now,
And
I
multiple, if
have
at that. Like it doesn't have to pick one, but a couple if you think there's multiple.
and then for anime adaptation. I'm not even too sure on that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what could be a good one, to be perfectly honest with you, because
hmm
like a good example is the Ace Attorney anime because I've been pushing for that for quite a while back
Yeah.
then, and it was the anime itself is great because it actually added like an addition more lore to more of the more important characters like Phaneckswhy and Miles Edgeworth and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty nice. So if there's like if there's an anime adaptation for a video game that's there to add more lore to it, then that's fine by me, I guess. I don't know. It's not something that I need to happen. If that makes sense. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Gotcha. Let's see. For me, I think Xenoblade Chronicles would be a good anime series.
I thought about that, but the thing is, how they're gonna cover all that? That's the thing.
It would be a very long anime.
Yeah.
Not
So
even then. Actually, when you think about it, what really takes up time in Xenoblade Chronicles is the stuff you do between cutscenes. Because the leveling up, going from point A to point B, right? The exploration is what takes up the most time. But I think if you put in just the cutscenes of everything, you can probably do it in like 24 episodes, if not
I'll
multiple
s-
seasons.
I'll say this: if they're going to do a Xenoblade Chronicles anime series, then they have to make it a web anime so that way they're not restricted to TV guidelines and stuff.
Yeah.
The only reason why I'm saying that is only because this new Dragon Ball Magic thing is about to unveil within like next week for New York Comic Con or something like that.
Hmm.
And if it turns out to be a web anime, that means that they'll have way less restrictions when it comes to what can they put in inside the show.
Yeah.
It could be a short episode, it could be a long episode, it could have blood in it, it could not have no blood in it.
Yeah.
You're basically giving the entire studio more creative freedom and less deadlines for them to reach and stuff, which I'm all for that,
Yeah.
right? So if they're gonna do something like Xenoblade Chronicles anime, they need to take care of it, just like they take care of their games, right?
Yep.
So that's all I'd say about that.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, I think that's a good one. There was another one. Shoot. I think actually the story of like Mega Man Zero would be a good one.
I'm surprised it hasn't been done yet, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Cause like they have like not animated stuff, but they have like the art. Like there's like these small like not cutscenes, but like these art like stills in the Mega Man Zero games that look really good. And I think there was a commercial at one time of Mega Man Zero. So like that would be a perfect series, yeah, in my opinion. I mean, they did Battle Network, right? Battle Network was an anime.
They need to do a Azure Gunvolt anime series. That has potential.
That does. I saw you were playing that actually on your Switch.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I bought this game like years ago, so I haven't played it yet. Let me hop on, and like I hopped onto it, played it, freaking fun as heck. And then I like looked up some stuff, and apparently you can do a lot more stuff with it. But the thing is, I'm already satisfied with the pointing shoot and using the Fairfield or whatever you call it and stuff.
Yeah.
I just like doing that, so I might just stick with that for a bit. The only concern I have though is the English translation, because I did some research in the past. They were saying that the English translation was like crap, and I'm like, I'm worried about that.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is that once I beat the first game, I'm going to go to the second game and like dump that onto my computer and try to find some sort of like fan translation for like a more accuracy of the characters and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because I actually started off just playing the Japanese and stuff, because like I said before, they were saying that like the English localization didn't do like a very good job with it, unfortunately. So I wanna make sure I'm hearing the true characters, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I beat. Well, no, I didn't beat one. I think I'm at the end of one. Right now, I'm at the end of two. So I bought the same bundle. I bought it recently on the Switch too, and they're a short game. You could probably be in like 5-10 hours.
Yeah, short
So
games. Three's coming out. I forgot
three is
about three.
already out. Three's already
Oh,
out,
three's already out. Awesome. Is it on the
and
Switch?
it's on the Switch. Yeah.
Cool.
I have the demo on the Switch, and I'm kind of disappointed with the story because you don't even play as Gunvolt. It's called Azure Striker Gunvolt, and you don't even play as it. There's a new main character named Kieran, and I guess that's the biggest disappointment because if you notice, or have you played two yet or no?
No, I just start playing one.
Okay, so we'll talk about it another time because it'll be semi spoilers to talk about three,
Oh,
or
okay,
three
got it.
storyline. Yeah, so we'll wait on that. But I agree with you. Azure Striker Gunvolt would be a good anime series. Breath of Fire would be a good anime series as well. I always
I mean,
hoped that would have became an anime. What's up?
I have a slight comment about Azure Gumball though. I mean, it may take me a while to beat the game, because I have this thing where I want to get S plus. I want to S plus every mission now.
Oh,
And yeah, so that may take a while, because right now
nah.
I'm getting S's across the board, but I'm like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, there's an S plus, I can get that. So I got to do it, and I'm playing on hard mode too. You either go big or go home. So
I hear you.
yeah.
Hey, Smash Mac, how's it going? I saw Shiz came in second place in I forgot what it was called in the melee tournament. I forgot what it was called. Oh, I forgot the name of the tournament. But yeah, I saw he came in second place, losing to I forgot what the other guy's name is. Yeah, he didn't even use his main character. Yeah, he used Fox. Yeah, that's true. He used Fox. Yeah, I saw he had went live, but I forgot I was doing something, so I didn't get to watch it. I was gonna go ahead and watch it, but I didn't get to. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, Breath of Fire would be a good animated series, I think. Specifically four. Like four has already an anime opening, so I think that would be a great anime. Um, no, I don't know what else. Like I don't think any Nintendo property would be a good anime in my opinion. I just feel like they would ruin it.
I they could try to do another F-Zero anime again because I mean
I
that's
remember
succeeded.
that. There was a Kirby
So
anime too.
there is.
Yeah,
I feel
like
completely conflicted about that one. I don't know.
yeah.
It was definitely interesting. I'll say that much.
And there was a Donkey Kong. It was a
Dude, okay.
animated like Donkey
Yeah,
Kong, which I used to
it's like
watch a lot. I used to watch
it,
that in the morning a lot
it
when that
was
came out.
full CGI, right? I'm assuming.
Yep, full
I think I remember.
CGI.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
And of course we had the Mario Brothers cartoon. We're the Mario Brothers, and plumbing's our game. Yeah,
Okay.
we had that, and then they also had the Super Mario World cartoon as well, which was a little bit different.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
Um, and then there was of course the Zelda stuff too.
I was gonna say have another Sonic X like anime, but I don't know if they're gonna do that again.
Sonic X wasn't that bad. It
Oh
could have
no,
been
no,
better.
it's see English was kind of doo doo, but
Yeah,
Japanese though it's a whole totally different thing. I don't know if it's in the
yeah.
Japanese version.
I did see it. It was a lot better. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely a lot better. Yeah,
I agree with you with that. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I mean, there was a Fire Emblem anime years ago.
yeah, there was, and
Yep, with
yeah,
Marth.
I was going to watch it, but I'm like, no, I'm good. So
Let's see what else. What about Kingdom Hearts? You think that would be a good anime?
nah, they're fine without it.
You don't think so? Because like, have you read the
They're
manga?
I didn't read the manga, but I'm just saying they're fine without it. To be perfectly honest, like
I mean, they are fine, but Kingdom Hearts is one of those that you could have some cool fight scenes because of the characters.
and honestly, that might take a minute and a half to like even produce something like that because of Disney.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I mean, Disney's struggling. If they want money, they could just make a Kingdom Hearts anime, have some top tier studio invest money into it, and then there you go. Like,
yeah, pretty
you know,
much.
of course they'll have to share royalties with Square Enix, but doesn't matter. Disney Plus is struggling, so like any bit would help. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, there's nothing else that I can think of that would be a good anime.
Honestly, I think they rely way too much off of Marvel, like way too much,
I
man.
agree.
Like there's a section called an MCU fatigue, bro. People are just tired.
Oh yeah, everybody's
They're-
tired of
they're-
it. They're
yeah,
boring.
yeah,
Like
it's just man.
it's just like the
Uh,
beginning was cool. It was like, oh, awesome, these superheroes. But now it's just like, all right, like, well, there's a lot of things wrong with that, and I'm not gonna get into that because I mean, there's these phases. Nothing's really coming together now, and you're like, huh, like why am I watching this? Why is this person here? Or like if something's taking place
yeah,
in there, where's these other characters? Like now they created such a big universe. It's like, why, if if something's happening in New York, where's everybody else? Like, aren't you guys all friends? Somebody should be showing up to help you out. So, but yeah, that's a different topic. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything that we have for today. There's really nothing else here to talk about. I would say it's gonna be a shorter podcast because, like I said, Fan couldn't make it. He's actually doing some stuff, and then Geek also has some stuff that he had to do. So not a lot of stuff there. Anything you wanted to add to today's podcast at all, Ash?
um, there were some things I saw. I forgot to like note them in the back of my head. I should stop doing it and actually write them down, but that is what it is. I would say like I've seen people saying that the new DLC for Sonic Frontiers,
I forgot about that.
people are having a hard time with that apparently. So when it comes to difficulty, so I'm like interesting. Like
Really?
that piqued my interest. So I'm like, bet I'm gonna hop in there once
Yeah, I
eventually. So there's
wonder.
that.
This,
People are saying that the difficulty is kind of BS.
yeah,
So I'm just like, really in that kind of game? I don't know. Like that's weird. That's interesting to say the least. The other thing I need to look into as well is start watching Sonic Prime, which again, that's on Netflix.
yeah.
Um,
Actually, that one's not that bad. But we forgot to mention that because that's a good idea of a video game adaptation on Netflix.
so far I'm already liking what I'm seeing. It's pretty much dealing with time paradoxes, trying to
Yep.
fix the universe and all that stuff. I mean, I'm fine with this. Like it's cool. It's nice. I also also the new Sonic voice actor was growing on to me as well. It's great.
Hmm.
He's doing a good job. I'm loving it. Um, let's see. Anything Anything else? I guess for this little small segment, I was talking. I can talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Actually, recently started replaying that again on my PC this time around. And
Nice.
my God, 4K, 120 FPS, full graphics. God damn it
What
is as
what
beautiful
GPU
as
do you
that.
have?
I got a 3080, 12 gigabyte.
Okay. I
Yeah,
didn't know that. What
yeah.
CPU do you have?
I have the AMD 5800X.
Okay.
Yeah, I pretty much have. Oh, they're not really top of the line, but you don't need the top of the line to get the stuff that you want to get out of,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
it's just all the cutscenes I get. I'm just like, oh my god, everything's. I feel like I'm actually there and stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah, I
Yep.
replayed it on my Steam Deck just to have it in portable mode, and I was like, yeah, I played it at 40 FPS. I beat it on PS5 when they did the update, and yeah, there's a night and day difference between the PS4 version and the PS5 version. Like everything looks great, but I would like to play at 120, 4K 120, but I
I
usually don't
played
use
on
my
this bad
PC
boy.
except for
See,
streaming.
LGC1,
Yeah.
this, and then my PC down here paired up together, they're unstoppable. I play. I honestly, I'm trying my best to not use that as often because I keep using this, and I'll be like, man, what's the point of gaming monitors these days? Now
Yeah.
I gotta make sure I
I mean, there's some good
play certain.
there's some good OLED gaming monitors.
There are, but I'm not trying to like. I'm trying to make sure like I don't get too spoiled on this TV too much.
I hear
That's the
you.
thing with that, right? So yeah.
No, I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3, loving it. I mean, I just the game is just great. Like it looks great for a Switch game. Like every time I look at it, I'm like, man, like it makes me disappointed more and more about Pokemon. Like Tears of the Kingdom already did this, but like, playing this game, I'm like, man, like you disappoint me, Pokemon Company with what you did with Scarlet and Violet. I've been playing that, and I have the urge to play Octopath Traveler 2. Thanks to the Geek Show, because him in the archives, I saw Octopath Traveler 2 and listened to the music. I was like, man, I really want to play it. So that Octopath Traveler 1 was decent. That wasn't the best, but 2, from what I hear, everybody says that it should be Game of the Year contender for the year. Probably
So
not, but
let me hit you with this question. So like
mhm.
I never played a single like I haven't even tried the demos for neither of the games because I'm pretty sure there's a demo for the first and second game.
Yeah.
I haven't played neither of those. So
Hmm.
in my head, when I see Octopath Traveler, I'm thinking, all right, there's 8 heroes,
Hmm.
and maybe their paths may intertwine, and they need to work together to achieve achieve a certain objective and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now the thing is, depending on what choices you make, do you make a lot of permutations on like what hero meets this other hero, or is it all predestined or like fixed upon when you're playing the game? If that makes sense.
No, yeah, so the way 1 was, I haven't played 2 yet, but the way 1 was is you choose a hero, right? And then basically there's a route you can go to. And like if you choose one hero, then usually what happens is you do like a big circle, and then you get all the other heroes. I believe there was ways to skip that and go to the next chapter by going a different route. But for the most part, you get to choose like what heroes you want to pick up, as your journey, unfolds. I think 2 is the same way, but the biggest difference is with 1, their stories don't really intertwine. Like you go through, you see that hero there, and like let's say the hero might be like in a bar, and then you're like you talk to them, like, oh, do you want to see this person's story? And if you choose no, they just join your team and that's it. Then you just move on. If you choose yes, you see their backstory and you see their motivations. But again, they just join your team and it's just like there's no real
See,
reason of why they joined each other. They're just there.
miss opportunity right there. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing I was talking about. Like
Yeah.
because I let's say both you and I picked the Octopath
Hmm.
Traveler 1, right? I want to pick up this game and be like, all right, what I did this and this and this and that. And I'm like, okay, I'm expecting you to do the same thing. And then I come to you and you're like, oh, that's not what I did.
Yeah.
I took this path, this and this, found out lore about this, and I'm like, wow, replay value. I think I should go back and try similar what he did, but did
Yeah.
do it a bit differently, right? I want Octopath Traveler to be like that because
Yeah.
that name is just that's what that's what the concept of that makes the most sense to me,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
if it's not like that, then I don't know. I'm feeling already a bit let down by the fact that we're like not even the party members even interact with each other
So
as
in
much.
one that's the issue. In 2, apparently they do, and they do get a like common goal, or not a common goal, but they do interact with each other, and there's a reason why they're joining forces together.
Okay.
Yeah, one has just the issue that you go through the whole game, and it's just like everybody has their own, final boss. They have their own reasons, and it just really doesn't matter. They're just there, right? It's like it's a weird thing, and so it looks like they took back their story wise. I'll tell you this too, because you could play the demo, and the demo's like the first. I think you got 3 hours to play, so you
There's
could
like okay.
choose whichever character you want to play as at first, and that's like the character you start off with, and then as you journey through your journey, that's when you'll run into the other characters in different areas. I assume they're probably going to still have the flashback scene, so you can see what their story is before you meet up. But then when they meet up, there's actually reasons of why they met up, how they're there, and then what their enemy is and why they're going to help each other out. But because the flashback scenes, their stories are great. Octopath Traveler 1, I enjoyed everybody's individual story, but it's like outside of that, it's like, why are you with me? Like, there's no point for you to be with me.
I was expecting more like RPG, more features and elements within. I mean, the game is already RPG in of itself, but I want this to be more RPG rich, to where the player has a lot of choices on how they want this story to end. Do they love this particular character life, so they ignore everyone else? Fine, you can do that. I want players to have more choices when they do certain things. And if they're more curious about, okay, what happens if the characters are addressed with this character, or whether this character randomly just turns bad all of a sudden. So like all this gear you invest into that one particular character, you made the wrong choices with that character. Now that character becomes like the final boss, and you have to get the other characters to fight. Like there's a lot of things you can do with that.
Yeah.
I like that. See, that's a whole vision and like ideas I have for Octopath Traveler, because that just makes sense to me. Because you're playing as eight different characters and stuff, going through their lives and stuff. And then the thing is, since you're the one controlling them, then it should be up to you what they should do next and stuff in order for them to accomplish their objectives. Maybe later on down the line they meet another NPC that like they eventually becomes their partner or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. That's the whole point,
No, I get you. Yeah, and that would be pretty cool. Yeah, because like you skipped on somebody and they become a bad guy or something like that. Like a good game that did that was Star Ocean: The Last Hope, Star Ocean 3, and there's a character you can recruit, and he'll join your team, but he's a bad guy, and if you don't recruit him, he stays a bad guy. Which was kind of cool. I don't remember his name, but I remember I wanted him because he used a samurai sword, and like at that time, I was just obsessed with anything like there was a katana. I was like, yeah, you have a katana, I need you. But it's kind of cool, and there's two characters, but it's like you choose one or the other character. You can't get them both. Another good one is what's it called? Fire Emblem Echoes.
Oh, I know that one.
Shadows of Valencia. Yeah, I have the amiibo here. Shadows of Valencia.
That should be anime 110%. I agree with that one.
Oh, Echoes is great. Yeah. But that one's another one that there is somebody you can recruit. I mean, Fire Emblem has it. Old school Fire Emblem has it a lot. That there's enemies there, you can recruit them, and then they'll join you, or if not, they stay bad. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's weird because now that I think about it, games back then they did have a lot more unique elements to them, and now they're just kind of straightforward. So I will.
Exactly. I don't want a straightforward experience. If I'm going to immerse myself, I want to do everything I want to do just because I feel like it. And right now, I feel like
Tears of the Kingdom, right? Like Tears of the Kingdom gives you choice.
I feel like right now the best RPG experience you can possibly get is probably Baldur's Gate 3, because that they literally deliver all the stuff that games used to have back then, but all into one package and stuff. And on top of that, we have a developer studio that actually gives a damn about their own players.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, even though it seems that Octopath Traveler 2 is really good, that would be unique. Fire Emblem is a good thing. Like I like old school Fire Emblem, and everybody's like, "Oh, Awakening was the best Fire Emblem ever." I was like, "No, Awakening, in my opinion, is nowhere near the best Fire Emblem, because like the story is just straightforward. There's really, like you said, no choice. You didn't go through battle and be like, "Oh wow, there's this character, I can recruit him, so I gotta try my very best to go ahead and talk to them so they can come to my team." Like, you didn't get anything like that. There weren't like hidden characters. Everybody just joined you, and that's it.
Awakening is one of those. I call it Awakening a Fire Emblem sandbox, because the shit you can do in that game is ridiculous, especially when it comes to the kids inheriting traits from their parents. if you know how to do that, you literally have the most broken units of all time. Like regardless of what game you play, right? So that's why I don't really see Fire Emblem Awakening as much as like a good game mechanically, because they just gave the player too much freedom to literally just break it. Right.
Yeah.
I do like some of the characters and stuff, like Robin, for example. I always like Robin as a character, and I always theorize that maybe Robin's probably like a reincarnation from which numeral game is a Fire Emblem 7 with Lindis, because
the
the main
tactician.
yeah, because I feel like he was probably a reincarnation of that same technician from Lynn's world. When you fight the Aaron card of Lynn actually talks to Robin, and she's like, "Wait a minute, you look really, really familiar to me. I'm because you remind me of somebody that I used to fight with that helps guide us into battle and everything." I'm like, seriously? I'm like, I kind of got excited about that. But like, maybe reincarnation. I don't know.
It could be that it just reminds me because he's tactical, right? Because there was also in Fire Emblem Mystery of the Emblem, the guy who joins you is also, I think he's seen as a tactician because he's also commanding the troops while Marth stands by.
But do you remember the sprite from 7 for the tactic? They literally had they literally have almost the same sprite. Almost. The only difference is Robin's more HD. Meanwhile, the homie, you only get to see him once, and that's what he practically looks like. When he's as a
I get that. No, I think it's just coincidence. Not coincidence, but more Easter egg-ish, right? I think that's all it is. Right? It's kind of like, back in the days, there was a grave, I believe it was in Dragon Quest where it says, "Here lies Link," right? It doesn't mean that Link is part of the Dragon Quest universe. So,
I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah, so I think it's just more something like that, like Easter egg. David says, he's been playing Baldur's Gate 3 nonstop. Nice. Yeah, eventually I'll pick up Baldur's Gate. I know a lot of people are liking it. I definitely have to beat Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I need to beat Sea of Stars. I'm close to the end. I'm really loving Sea of Stars. And then I want to beat Octopath Traveler 2. And
I can tell you this much. By not playing Baldur's Gate 3 and not playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I could tell you this much. Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be way longer than Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I could tell you that right off the bat.
Yeah. You'd rather play Baldur's Gate 3, you said?
No, I say between those two games, since I haven't played those, I know for a fact that Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be a way longer game compared to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Yeah.
How long is Baldur's Gate? What is the time?
Hundreds of hours, apparently.
What's the what's that website? Is it how long to beat? Yeah.
75 to 100 hours to complete. Thing is, right? That's just one playthrough.
Yeah.
You're missing like a good slew of other crap for you to do as well. You can replay this game like dozens and dozens of times, and this is exactly what I was talking about with how I envision Octopath Traveler and stuff. Like, you can do this one thing, do all these things, and then you come to your friend and he's like, "That's not what I did. I did all these things, and this took me 100 hours." So, and with this game, of course, a whole playthrough can take you a minimum 30-75 with a maximum 100 hours, but you're not going to be completing all that stuff under one go.
Yeah, so let's see, Baldur's Gate 3. It says Baldur's Gate 3, it says a completionist run is 138 hours. Are you on the same website?
I'm here.
Completionist is 138, yeah, main story 50 and a half, main asides. So it's only 138, where Xenoblade Chronicles 3 completionist is 170 hours. And then if you add in the Future Redeem, that's another 34 hours. So you're looking at a total of 204.5 hours for Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
I don't really think Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is that long to begin with, to be perfectly honest with you.
I mean, I don't know. It is, because Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I know for a fact that I'm getting towards the end of the game, and I'm around like the 60-hour mark. And I haven't been really doing all the side quests and stuff.
One felt the shortest, to be perfectly honest with you, if anything, because like now I'm like remembering like all the cutscenes. I'm like, wait a minute, they're just there. Then they just got there, and then like, oh wow, they're just going through just brazing through the story. So like, I'm pretty sure the story itself is like pretty short. I'll say maybe like 30 hours for one. Two. Probably same length, depending if you want to take on all the other extra side quests with the rare blades you get, which, by the way, I'm still kind of struggling with the blades and stuff. I'm not going to lie to you. Honestly, if only the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 didn't have the freaking Blade Gotcha system. I appreciate them for not making a microtransaction thing,
Yeah,
but holy crap,
that was a weird decision. Like I remember when I played, I was like,
it's
why?
that's literally a pain. You got to keep doing it. Like it's a grind, of course it is, but with this kind of thing was kind of unnecessary, right? So
Yeah, Octopath Traveler 2, 60 and a half hours for the main story. What about Sonic Frontiers? I'm just curious. Now that I'm on this site, I'm just gonna look up
that game's
everything.
short. That game's short. Maybe 30 hours at best.
16, yes, it's 16 and a half hours.
Yeah, there you go. What about like fully completing the game?
Fully completing is 26 hours.
Yeah, so I was close enough. See, yeah,
What about
that game's
Persona
short.
5 Royale? What's Persona 5 Royale?
I managed to like finish that within like
Oof. Yeah, main
50,
story, 101 hours.
no way. That doesn't take that long.
That's what I said for main story.
Average?
Yeah, let me see. I mean, I assume that's the average, right?
Maybe for new players, I guess. I don't know because I was able to finish it.
1K,
Like,
yeah, it says 1K pulled, 102 hours and 54 minutes. The median is 100 hours. So, yeah, average. A rush playthrough will get you 73 hours and 43 minutes.
yeah, that sounds about right, if anything. Because when I was going to Royal, I already played it previous, so I already knew what to do when it comes to when to do it, when and how to do it. Royal literally made things a lot easier, especially with certain certain confidants. I know there was a confidant where like you literally get a massage and you were able to like do 3 things during the night or something like that. So with that, you're able to accomplish more so social links, more like rank ups with your confidants and like get extra stuff, which is nice, right? So
Yeah. And I'm gonna just like go through and just type in every game on this. I'm looking
yeah,
at Star Ocean, but I guess Star Ocean is not part of this website. What's going on?
I mean, it should be. Game's been around for like forever.
Yeah, I think the website broke because I typed in Star Ocean and nothing. There we go. I was just making a mistake.
That's all
Let's
good.
see. Yeah, Star Ocean second story, the new one coming out.
Yeah, I definitely need to hop on that Star Ocean hype train. Like, it looks really good. I just like the designs of the main characters. They look
Yeah.
really nice. I'm like, ooh, I like
The
that.
new art style, I like it.
New art style. That's what it is. Okay, fair.
Yeah. Yeah, because the second evolution one, they have a different art style, a more anime art style. And it's all right, but like this new art style definitely pays a lot better respects, I guess, to the original look that they had. And like if you saw, did you see that anime opening for Star Ocean?
I don't think I have. I only seen like the trailer of it, and then at that point in time, I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. I'm going to play that.
The
So,
anime openings are it's all right. You can tell it wasn't like high budget, but like, it does look kind of cool. Like you see all the characters in there, and they look pretty cool.
hmm.
See, David said he hasn't even seen Act 2 yet
Act 2 of what?
of Baldur's Gate. Says Baldur's Gate 3 is going to take way longer for me because I've made multiple characters. Ah, okay.
You see, yeah, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So we'll see. Like eventually I'll get to it. I don't know when though. I'll get to Baldur's Gate. Like I gotta beat these games. There was something else I wanted to pick up too, and I can't remember now. And then of course we got like I want to play Super Mario RPG because I've never played it.
Oh,
So
you
I
never
definitely
played
want to
it?
pick that up. Never played it.
That is a shocker. Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
and I picked back up. I forgot to mention this. I picked back up Chrono Trigger.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, the music's just so good in Chrono Trigger. I'm like playing it, like man.
I'm just amazed how much stuff we were able to pack into that game. Like
Yeah.
back then on the SNES, it's just crazy how many endings there are. I'm like, wow,
That
crazy.
game is just so amazing. Like music wise, I was playing it because I was playing it on my iPad. And I was discussing it with somebody because they were saying that they heard that the mobile versions doesn't have all the cutscenes, which I've never heard. And I was like, well, you have all the animated cutscenes here, but supposedly there's 2 cutscenes missing. Because like to my knowledge, the mobile version and I think the Steam version too has all the cutscenes, and the mobile version still keeps the 16-bit sprites in there.
I didn't know there were cutscenes to begin with.
The PS1, so the SNES version doesn't have it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
the PS1, I believe Toriyama himself did the cutscenes.
if you're talking about that same like opening that I saw before,
Yeah.
right?
It's not just the opening. There's an opening, but inside the game there's cutscenes. So every time you meet a character, you think like Final Fantasy VIII, right? When you a character is introduced, you get a cutscene,
Yeah.
or like Final Fantasy X. Same thing in Chrono Trigger. Every time a character is introduced, you get a cutscene. See,
I need to go back and play it again because I
Yeah.
don't remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably play I did probably play the SNES version. I can't recall.
Yeah,
I don't know.
SNES doesn't have it. The PS1 version has it. The DS version, I believe, doesn't have it. And then the mobile
That's a
version,
downgrade.
yeah, the mobile version and the Steam version has the cuts. I think the Steam version does. I know the mobile version for sure has all the DS content and all the PS1 included cutscenes. So, but I believe Steam as well. David says, "What do you think about the Dragon Quest Adventures of Dai game?" I mean, to be fair,
I'm not really feeling it.
but it's like
That's
it
surprising.
that yeah, I love Dragon Quest, but Dai I just don't think was it. Like it's a more action RPG, and typically when there's a licensed game, they're usually not that great. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe eventually I'll pick it up. But I know reviewing, I think it's not reviewing good. See,
Well, what about the anime that came out like
the anime
years
is
ago?
actually pretty good. Oh,
Okay, so
so
you
there's
like
the original one, there's the remake, and the remake is also pretty good. Um, yeah, it's not that bad, I would say, but the game, I don't know. Like, it, it, Dragon Quest is one of those games that it's very hard to do spin-offs off of. There's very few good ones. Like Builders is great. Monsters, if you like monster catching games, is a lot of people love it. Yeah, see, Metacritic has Dragon Quest Die at 60. Oof.
I was
Yeah.
expecting a bit higher, maybe like an 80 or something.
Yeah, some people say it's a 7, that it's worth playing. Let's see if there's any notable people here saying it's worth playing.
Wow. What am I missing something?
With what?
Well, Final Fantasy 8, there's new Squall and Renoa art for Final Fantasy 8.
Oh yeah, because they're added to oh, what's that game? That
They look
tactics
so
game by Square
they,
Enix.
they look so much better. Holy crap.
So it's because they're in it's a mobile game. Not
Oh,
War of the Lions. It's a tactics based game. Yeah, that's why.
mobile game.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. I played it for a little bit. I'm like, yeah, this is not Final Fantasy Tactics. Too much gotcha stuff.
I do
Uh,
like the art. I do like the art side. I need to know who
oh,
did
it
them.
looks good. Yeah, it's whoever did that mobile game. I think it's the same artist that does Octopath and Bravely Default and all that. I believe it's the same artist.
Makes sense.
Cause,
Makes sense.
cause I love it. Like the Octopath Traveler like art style, amazing. Like I love, and I'm talking about like the actual art. Like my background for when I turn on my PC is the one where Octopath Traveler 2, where you're all around the campfire.
Yeah.
Amazing. I had that for my wallpaper for my phone, and now I'm all Xenoblade Chronicles 3 everywhere. But that was my art. I just love the artwork. All the individual character artworks, great stuff. Great stuff. But that's all that we have for today. Appreciate everybody that showed up. Thank you, Ash, for showing up as well. I thought I was gonna do the whole podcast by myself, so I do appreciate you showing up so we can have a little bit of a conversation towards the end. But next week we'll be back, of course, on Sunday. And in a couple of weeks, we do have a special guest that's going to be joining us. So it's going to be a very special episode. I might not even number it. Like we'll see how it goes. But we do have a special guest joining us. It's going to be pretty awesome. We're going to talk a lot of stuff. And of course,
Wait,
with the
you said next week?
no, a couple weeks from now. Yeah.
Oh, a couple weeks from now. I
Yeah,
was
no,
like,
not
wait a
next
minute.
week. No, because I know you won't be here next week.
Yep.
Right? Next week? Yeah. So yeah, next week
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah. I won't be here next weekend because of birthday. So
yeah, happy early birthday, because I will forget. But we
yeah, I
will
know you would.
we will be back next week, and hopefully Fan and Geek will show up. If not, I'll probably be just doing another solo podcast as well. But in a couple weeks, we do have a very special guest joining us. It's going to be special in terms of topics. If there's anything major, we'll cover that real quick. But we're going to have a special episode there. And we're also working on a new video series that we're going to be doing probably monthly. I don't think we're going to do it weekly or bi-weekly. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's called Guess That Song. And this is where we're going to pretty much put people against each other to guess music. Our first contestants are myself versus Ash. And we're going to go through and basically we're going to challenge each other. We're going to have somebody host it. I believe Fan is going to be hosting it. And we're going to go against each other guessing video game music and where it's from. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get the Geek Show on there as well. He's going to go ahead. And we're trying to look for some other people to come in. And yeah, we're going to go through and just have fun with it. But yes, looks like we'll probably do it monthly, maybe bi-weekly. We'll see. It depends on where we go from there. And I think that's really all the announcements I have for right now. I'm still trying to work on a bunch of other stuff and other collaborations. I might ask Ash to do something because I do want to have something covering the new was it not the Great Ace, what's the new one,
Oh,
the
the
new Ace
Apollo
Attorney game,
trilogy.
Apollo Justice trilogy. Yes, so I do want somebody to cover that, so I might see if I do something with Ash on that because I do want to cover that. And who knows, maybe it might be my first Ace Attorney game. We'll see. We'll see.
Honestly, I can see you liking Apollo Justice more than Phoenix Wright. To be honest,
it's
that's like
it's the
that's like
music.
that's
The
that's like
Phoenix
the
Wright
one
music is great
that's
though.
that's the one character that has a lot more gusto compared to Phoenix Wright. To be perfectly honest, but I'm always a Phoenix Wright fanboy, so I always root for my boy over Apollo Justice. But I can definitely understand people why people like Apollo Justice over Phoenix Wright to begin with. So
Yeah. I think, now that I think about it, we gotta add that to the soundboard. So when one of us disagrees with somebody, we can have the objection sound.
that works.
Yeah, we
Yeah, that
gotta add
works.
that. But yeah, we'll see if we get something like that covered. And like I said, more collaborations to go through. Definitely check out the Geek Show and his channel. Check out Phaneckswhy, his channel, where he does stuff. He does streaming, not stuff, but he streams games. Geek Show. He has a lot of videos that comes out. He has these fun little kind of like Who's That Pokemon, but it's Who's That Black Person. So you can go ahead check that out. Very cool. Like I watch it all the time and always guess. The last one was what's his name? I think his name is Kuro from Final Fantasy VIII. Do you remember him? The guy that has like the two blades.
No, I
Do you
I,
remember?
it, I do have to say I do need to go back and actually try to finish that game because
Okay.
and the worst part is that game I easily get lost. Like so it's even worse if I come back. I'm like, wow, okay, time to Google where I'm supposed to go. Like it's definitely something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That game is it's a weird game because you can play that whole game at level 1 because it's the only game that I know of that everything scales to you. So it doesn't matter what
oh,
level you're at.
I respect 8 a lot because they love to punish you if you abuse certain things. If you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. So when they get to an actual boss battle, they're like, whoa, how come that powerful? Oh, I don't know. You probably use a certain thing that you shouldn't be using 100% of the time. So,
But yeah, there's that. So yeah, definitely check out the Geek Show. Hopefully soon he comes back with archives, which is pretty cool. We're gonna actually be having our own little ad break in archives too. So definitely check that out when that comes up. Probably gonna do another one because the one that I gave him is it's an older episode, so Ash is not on it. Of course Geek is not on it. So yeah, we gotta do a newer one with have Ash included. We gotta see what happens there. Yeah, maybe I should do a my version of Who's That Latino or something like that. But it would always
hey,
be it would always be empty because there's no
yeah,
Latino video game characters. Like the only one you
you're
can use is like Miles Morales, and that's it. Like,
Luis from Resident Evil 4.
oh yeah, there is him. Okay, that's
But
two.
that's
All
it.
right.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's
You're right.
two. Yeah, I mean, I
Oh,
guess.
there's also that one character from Resident Evil 3. I forgot his name. Carlos.
Oh yeah, they're all Carl. Okay, yeah, there's three. Oh, so we can have
Sure.
3 episodes of that. We can have 3 episodes of that.
Literally, that's all I remember though. That's
Yeah,
the
I
problem.
mean, I guess you could technically count Sylvando in Dragon Quest 11 because
And
he's supposed to be
and,
technically Spaniard.
and if you want to cheat a lot, then you can legit grab a whole bunch of characters from Resident Evil 4 because technically that's in a and like if you want to
I'll just
cheat,
have different.
if you want to
That's
cheat, I
true. You
don't
can
know.
have Salazar. Yeah, you have
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
enemies there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are some.
They're all enemies.
The
We'll have what I forgot what they're called. The Los what are they called? I forgot their name now. Shoot. I think I'm confusing their name with the ones that they're called in Resident Evil 5. But yeah, you can have all of that. I guess yeah. Okay, so we have 4 characters to choose from and a lot of
something.
monsters.
we just gotta mix
I-
that up a little bit because all those characters' name are from the same franchise. So like,
yeah,
wonderful,
that's
good
true.
franchise. What else? Wonderful.
That
So
is true. That is true. Yeah. But anyways, Ash, where can I catch you at?
you can catch me at Ash Destroy. I haven't uploaded for 2 months. I should be doing that. Because there are a lot of video ideas that need to get on top of. I just need to get out of that procrastination phase and start doing it. So remember the Nike logo, just do it. So
Yeah, and as always, you can catch me here where basically I do videos at least, like I said, minimum once a week. I'm trying to do twice a week. It just depends on time. A little bit harder for me to do 2 times a week. And of course, I stream twice a week. So you catch me typically on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we have our group stream where we're trying to do our full playthrough of Crystal Chronicles. And then who knows where we'll go from there. Uh, I don't know if we decided, but yeah, we had to do that. But yeah, my solo stream doing Kingdom Hearts, Rechain of Memories, fun game, and I'll continue to do that. I'll beat that, and I don't know. I might go into Kingdom Hearts 2 right away, right after that. We'll see.
I mean,
Anyways,
that's where I'm going to do it. So
yeah, I mean, because I didn't do Kingdom Hearts 1, but I was like I feel like everybody has played one, and Chains of Memories is my personal favorite out of all of them. I just like the battle style. It might get annoying because you got to go through the rooms, but I don't know. I just like the game. I enjoyed it. I like it a lot.
literally all you have to do is if you haven't played Birth by Sleep yet, look at the opening of Birth by Sleep. It'll practically tell you like what happened, and then like after that you can legit look at the one cut scene in Kingdom Hearts 1 where Sora literally kills himself, and that's where like the whole confusion of the whole Kingdom Hearts timeline actually starts, which is funny to me. So
No, it started with Chains of Memories because I remember a lot of people buying Kingdom Hearts 2 and be like, okay, why is Sora sleeping? Like when we last left off, Sora was looking for Riku, and now Sora's in a pod sleeping. You're playing this new character. I was like, and I remember telling like the people, my friends at the time in school, I was like, you gotta play, Chains of Memory, or yeah, you gotta play Chains of Memories on the GBA because it tells you exactly what happens to Sora and how that goes.
to be perfectly fair, though, there was a Kingdom Hearts mobile game where like some people like had to be there to play it
Yeah.
because it was on a time frame and it
Talking about
got
Coded?
off.
Re-
Yeah.
well,
Apparently
Coded, and
there
they
was some
got
stuff in
remade
that.
as Recoded. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Now
and Recoded Recoded
that's in the
sucks.
that's in now the whole all in the all collection thing. I forget what the whole thing's called, but
Well, the
the
cutscenes
thing is,
are, but the DS version came out. So remember, Recoded was the remake for DS.
yeah.
Because yeah, we never got it over here in the US, and Coded was episodic. So like you got like part one, part two, part three, and now when you play the game, it's all one piece. But it's yeah, it's not that great.
Here's the thing. I just hope Kingdom Hearts 4 can like revitalize, some of the
Kingdom
memories
Hearts.
that people had in the
Yeah,
back in the old days of Kingdom Hearts, because 3 wasn't really hidden for a lot of people, for a good reason, right?
I'm
And
one of them.
and pretty much the whole development process was like literally in between Final Fantasy 15 and 3, all because Square Enix wanted no more to focus more on Kingdom Hearts 3. And guess what a certain character made his way into? It's not Noctis, kind of looks like him. His name is Yozora, right?
Yeah.
Like you look at him, and then if you do play the Remind DLC,
Yeah.
if I remember, you see freaking Yozora literally in the same vehicle.
Yep.
So like
Well,
we already know where this is going. Like at this point,
well,
right?
I remember
Why are they
reading.
making Yozora like that important to begin with?
Well, I thought he said that he was gonna work on a game just for Yuzora. What was it? What's his game called in the Toy
I,
Story?
I know what you're talking about. I forgot
Yeah.
it was called too. Frick.
Uh,
Shoot.
yeah,
I
I'm like trying
know.
to think.
Didn't they like showcase that in Dream Drop Distance actually?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's called Verum Rex.
Verimax, there we go. And I think
Yeah.
Nomura said that, and there's also an interview, either interview or something that he was talking about. Like he was pissed that he got removed from what's it called, from why can't Final Fantasy 15. I don't know why I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
that was literally like if you saw
yeah,
like the old teaser trailers, he was trying to make that to something like
yeah,
amazing, but Experience is like no, and they
yeah.
put him to Kingdom Hearts 3. So like it's just
He was so Final Fantasy 15, like because I hate when they blame Nomura for it and they don't know the whole story. It was not his fault.
oh,
They
it
had
definitely
him
not his
working
fault.
on all the Kingdom Hearts spin-offs. He was working on The World Ends With You. And then of course he would do like art design for like, Final Fantasy like 13, like regular 13 and stuff like that. So he was all over the place. And he was finally, when he had the chance to fully work on it, then it's like, yeah, you got to do Kingdom Hearts 3, right? Because remember,
Yeah.
Dream Drop Distance came out. You got to work on Dream Drop Distance. You know, he was working on Birth by Sleep because that was announced around that time. Yeah, he was working on so many projects at once. You know, Recoded, of course, eventually coming. And like I remember I always watched the original Final Fantasy 15 trailer when they changed the name from Versus 13 to
Yes.
15. The game looks
Yes.
so much better than what it was
So
supposed
much
to
freaking
be.
better. I always say this. Listen, it's for blame Square Enix for effing up 2 games at the same time, which
Yeah.
is Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep.
That's all I gotta say. You would have got your games the way you want them, and the Square Enix did not intervene.
And I heard he
That's it.
was upset. Like the whole reason 3 wasn't as good is he was very mad that he
Yes,
had to do that.
White thing is yours in there.
Yep.
Like, what, like, come on. Like, the whole Remind Deal seal is literally Sora versus Yozora. I'm just
Yeah.
like, bro, like,
Yep.
oh my God, man.
That whole thing, like, yeah, you know, the Prompto lookalike, the Gladio lookalike, the
I'm
Ignis
like, I
lookalike.
wonder why.
Yep.
Like, let's see. Like, here's the thing. Nomura never said himself that he was like angry about it, right?
Mhm.
But we can literally see it through. Like, he's literally projecting it through his games and stuff,
Yep.
right? So I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I mean, like I'm a Nomura fan, and people, you know, now he's working on Final Fantasy 7 remake plus he's working on Kingdom Hearts 4, and it's like, you know, you got to cut the guy some slack. He's worked on a lot of stuff at the same time, and you know, it's not his fault. You know, he does a lot. I personally like his way of storytelling. A lot of people don't like it, but I like the mystery he puts around. You know, that's why Kingdom Hearts has such a big fandom because there's all these mysteries there, and yeah, kind of like I'll say like anime, right? The longer it goes on, the more things kind of get lost and you get all these plot holes and stuff like that. But for the most part, the mystery is what drew me into Kingdom Hearts. You know, I was that guy, that kid on KH Insider, always like, oh, you know, the new Birth by Sleep trailer, you know, came in. Here's my theory about it. You know, going in deep on the lore, on everything. Like, oh, you know, these stars falling. It's probably the world's ending. You know, Terra is actually, you know, Xehanort, and then, you know, somehow Master Xehanort takes over his body. And, you know, I was like right on that. But this was all theories because at the time nobody knew if who Terra was. All we
Oh
knew
yeah,
is he looked
exactly.
like the Xehanort that they showed in the cutscenes of Kingdom Hearts 2, but that was about it.
I'm really sad that I wasn't able to hop on Kingdom Hearts or earlier than I should, because like I hopped on the Kingdom Hearts series when like not even like 5 years ago, I think.
Oh wow, really? Oh wow.
Yeah, man. I wish I would have hopped onto that like everyone else did, because like I know like a couple of people that are like that were big into Kingdom Hearts, but I never like actually tried to like ask them, inquire them about it and stuff. I wish I did now, because honestly, when I was looking, because in the in the entire collection thing, they also have extras to all the teaser trailers that they released and stuff. And like, goddamn, like some of them, they're like, damn, they're like hella ominous and stuff.
Oh yeah.
They really try to throw you a lot of curveballs and stuff,
Yeah.
and like, have you trying to figure some shit out. It's
Oh,
just like it's crazy.
when Kingdom Hearts 1 came out, I didn't even know there was a secret ending. So I beat it. I beat it multiple times. And I didn't know there was a secret ending. And then, you know, back then, like the internet was still in its infancy. And I go ahead and I downloaded a video on, I think it was either LimeWire or Kazaa at the
Oh,
time.
LimeWire, of course. I
One of
love
those two. And I
Lime.
downloaded it. I was like, what is this Kingdom Hearts video? You know, I was just looking up stuff. And I downloaded it. I was like, wait, what is this? And then you see was it Roxas? And I was like, no, this is so, you know, in my mind, I'm like, this is Sora. And then, you know, you see the character talk, it says, where's Sora? And you're like, huh? Like, what's going on here? And then he pulls out the Oblivion and the Oath Keeper. You're like, oh, wait,
Oh yes,
this
yes,
is,
yes.
you know, in my mind, I'm like, this is Sora.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Sora got both of those Keyblades, and then Riku's on top of the tower. And so, oh, man, it was like, I had so many theories on that. And then I found out there was a secret ending. And then I, you know, did my best to get that secret ending. And then a newer version of the secret ending came out with the music. Because that ending, the original ending that we got, it was just quiet, and it's just thunderstorms and stuff like that, and that's it. Where the final mix version had where what's it called, Roxas it kills the Heartless and then starts running up the tower, and then Riku jumps down, and then Roxas throws like the Oblivion, and then Riku captures it and then goes down. Like, oh man, such a good scene. And of course we finally got to play it in 358 over 2 when that happened. Oh man, so good. Anyways, yeah. All right. I think we're gonna have to do like a Kingdom Hearts special podcast or something like that. One of these days.
We gotta get one of the oldies, Tim. We gotta get him on this, man.
I would like to get him on this. It would be fun to talk about. Hey, when I originally started the channel, when Tim and Nelson were part of it, it was during Kingdom Hearts 3's launch, and literally our first 3 episodes were covering Kingdom Hearts. So they're still on the channel. I just have it hidden because Tim and Nelson are on there, so I don't know what they would want me to do there, but yeah, it's still there. I think I might have to reach out to him. I thought about reaching out to him for like a anniversary and stuff like that. It would be nice to have one of the OGs of the channel
Yeah,
join for
absolutely.
an episode.
That'd be busted.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see, man. But anyways, thanks for joining, Ash. Really appreciate it. As always, don't forget, check out Ash's channel, check out Phaneckswhy, and check out Geek Show as well, or The Geek Show rather, as well. My name is James from the Random Encounter. We'll catch you guys next time.